we were really overloaded, basically at the point of attack and backside. They were putting an extra hat in the box, and we thought, hey, if we can get this thing tossed and started on the front side, we really got something. We got some good movement out of the guys, and we can get an unbalance and have a way to do that. But we needed a way to cut off the backside, and so I brought it up, and Turnsey was fired up. He's like, anything for the team. You know, he's like the ultimate team guy, and ended up tossing it and throwing his shoulder. Had a couple great blocks into the line of scrimmage, and I thought it worked out very well.
Are you trying to get him to gain weight, spend more time in the weight room?
It's his single wing days, right?
Yeah,
So back in high school.
that's what he did in high school. You know, he's just so willing. He's such a big-bodied guy to run the ball. We've got things where obviously he can be a runner, he can be a passer. You saw him come in the game and have some run-pass option stuff. That's stuff we can do with him going forward, but it's nice. You know, you have a guy that started a bunch of games and won a bunch of games for you that can come in and is willing to do anything for the team.
How would you evaluate Walker Little in this game? You know, he had a couple of blocks that he missed. It looks like he and Bright missed one guy who came in, but there was another play where I wasn't sure whether it was his guy or not. But overall, how do you think he played?
Yeah, the second, third down of the game, they ran a game, and we didn't get back to it as quickly as we'd like. But for a first start in your college career, I thought the kid played exceptionally well. I thought he was very good in pass protection. On Bryce's long run on the first one, he runs through the defender's soul and then keeps running. And he's just not quite fast enough to keep up with Bryce. He was trying.
Yeah, but he did have a block on that, so it was good.
Oh, yes, it was a great block.
Yeah.
Who is fast enough to keep up with Bryce?
Yeah.
One of those comic book characters like Lightning Man or something. I don't know.
That's true.
So I know you were kind of joking about it, but let's take a look at the other viewpoint. What are some of the positives you took out from Saturday? I mean, did you feel like there was progress made from the week before?
So I thought our one-on-one, so you're never going to feel good about pass protection when you have 4 sacks. That's the bottom line. Our offensive unit gave up too many sacks. You look at the one-on-one blocks, whether you're talking about an offensive lineman or a running back, and they did better in their one-on-ones. When we were assigned, we were punching people off, and we were giving the quarterback a substantial amount of time, much better than we did the week before. So you talk about positives, there's a positive. Here's another positive. We averaged 11.1 per called run. That's pretty good when you average a first down per called run and you're 61% efficient, you're doing some good things. We just had 42 plays. We were so poor on third down that we couldn't get ourselves enough opportunities to get to the ball, to our receivers we feel can make plays. We couldn't get Bryce enough touches. When you're not efficient enough as an offense on third down, everything's magnified. You just don't get enough.
How long do you think it's going to take before this reconfigured offensive line is at full capacity, is really kicking in?
Again, averaging 11.1, I'm not sure we've ever done that in a game before, so I think that's a good step in the run game.
Well, but they gave up 4 sacks, so I mean...
but that's irresponsible journalism if you say the offensive line did. Did you watch the game, right?
I did.
So the offensive unit gave up 4 sacks.
True.
Did the line? Were they assigned to that guy that came in and hit him in the back and caused the fumble?
No, there was... Mr. Bryce Love was in it.
Right, and so Bryce is doing unbelievable in the running game. We're trying to get him to be the most complete player he can be. So, again, the offensive line giving up 2 sacks is too many.
Yep.
But, so again, I think they took some really good steps. I love the way that they're working together and communicating. I think what they did in the run game is very good. So, again, I'm going back to the positives. I think there are positives from that game.
Can I ask you one more thing about Walker, and that is, how would you describe him personally?
I freaking love the kid. I mean, that's the bottom line, is he is he's such a, oh man, I'm running out of words here, I apologize, but he is an unbelievable human being. He is unbelievably conscientious, and on the field, he's like a great teammate. He is a Stanford football player, is what he is, and I'm so glad I get the opportunity to work with him every day.
Let me ask one more thing about Walker. Did other teammates razz him a little bit about being the #1 overall recruit in the country?
Well, I don't know if any 5-star ever comes in here and has a real easy summer with Shannon Turley. So between his teammates and Shannon, I definitely think there was some of that going on.
Is it unfair to put comparisons for Bryce with Christian?
Well, the production's really good. I don't think you ever want to compare any 2 players together, but they're both had unbelievable production. I mean, through 3 games last year, Christian was unreal, and Bryce's numbers right now, I mean, I think he's averaging 12.2. Somebody told me today. Yep. That's an explosive run every carry, and he's on pace for 2,000 yards, and he's got half the carries of, half the backs in America. He's got 30 less than the #1 rusher in America, 30 less carries, that is. He's like 50 yards behind him. So I love what he's doing run game-wise, and I love how he's trying to become more of a complete player game in and game out.
You mentioned earlier sacks are not all about the offensive line. There's so much that's going on. And I was wondering your evaluation of Chris in the pocket, of helping himself buy time, and what you're working with him about getting the ball out to the playmakers. Shaw talked earlier today about you guys really like the tight ends and receivers you have. It's just about getting them the ball. And that seems to be about timing, finding enough time for himself. What you've seen in that regard?
Well, I think what you saw in the first game especially, and even some in the second game, is you saw a quarterback doing a great job delivering the ball on time. And in this game, for whatever reason, he didn't play as well as he would have liked to, and he didn't play as well as we would have liked him to, quite frankly. But that position always gets too much credit and too much blame, as we know. And what you saw with him is, for whatever reason, he didn't deliver the ball to number one in the progression when he was open a couple times, and that's always tough for a protection unit. And he's going to keep working on that. And the biggest problem we got right now is nobody watches us. They're not filming our practices and sending them out nationally, because we're doing some really good things in practice, and we got to get it to carry over to the game, because that's when it matters. That's when we're evaluated.
So just one more quick thing. Keller's last throw. I mean, obviously, again, everything gets magnified. It's the last play. But how did you break that play down in terms of him? Was it there and it was just a bad throw? Should maybe it gone to something else? I mean, just looking at that as an example of what we saw on Saturday.
Well, when you make the decision to throw a one-on-one ball, there's places we tell them to put it in terms of placement and where the ball's supposed to be to give the receiver a chance to make a play. And again, those are things that are worked and ingrained in his head, and he knows exactly what we want and expect. And everybody has a bad day at the office sometimes.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.